I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble. And I don't want to be in big trouble.
Turn me up, kid, Spiral.
You just know me well.
Exactly.
You just know me well.
Well, even when I was, remember the video I sent? You know the video I sent into the group chat? Like I was practicing with Jasmine. I was like, I'll do this, and I bet you this is how Dango's gonna work.
Boys and girls, yeah?
Boys and girls. It's the crack.
Stop, man.
You guys, you're in.
Oh, we're live?
Yeah.
I knew that. I didn't know.
Boys and girls.
Boys and girls.
What's the story? Episode 2, season 3. If I Speak podcast.
Top 2, not 2.
With a very special guest. I know he's obviously it's a seasonal thing, so we're back with season 3, back with a bang. Our first episode, absolutely crazy. I can't wait for you guys to, watch this season. It's just gonna be excellence of guests, and I have an absolute excellent guest. And like I said it to you last night at our show, which we're gonna touch on. And I really mean this when I say this. It's like, in this game, I've met a lot of people, but I'm saying this from the heart. You were the best person, because one thing I like about people with me, because the way I am, I'm very I'm very aggressive, you can say. Like, I'm very opinionated, blah blah. But you are not afraid to challenge me. You always challenge me, and you're always there to give me good advice. And one thing I love with people, with me, how you win me is by being honest. Just be honest. No matter if you're gonna hold my feelings or kind of downplay what I'm trying to do, where I'm trying to go. If you're honest with me, I know that I can, because I'm always gonna be honest with you, But without further ado, let me introduce my guest. HeyItsMeNesser.
Nobody
How
can
are
stop
you,
me.
sweethearts? How are you?
I'm
What's the
good,
story?
man. I'm good. I'm scared. Because I know you're gonna go digging in it.
Yeah, I have to, man.
Let's go.
Like I said, I like your story, and we never really talked in depth about you. So obviously you do this thing as well. You're a podcaster yourself. You're a content creator, whatever you want to call yourself.
The main character.
She's off already, but nah. So I really want to get to know you in depth. So that's why we're doing this podcast. But before we do that, I have a little, obviously, way of being seasonal. You're not gonna know about the episodes till they come out, but I have little segments that I've introduced. And one of the 4 segments that I've introduced is What's the Gig? So basically, what's the story? So the gig was, we had a gig last night.
Yeah.
So touch on that last night. How in your words, how you think it went and stuff?
I think it was grand. I haven't really asked for feedback yet. Got hugs and spuds and that, so I guess people didn't hate it, which is good. Like I said, literally 24 hours ago we were only pulling up, so I need to analyse it once I step out of it. I'm a little hard on myself anyway, so there were parts of it that I felt like maybe I could have given a bit more energy here and there, brought out different things, but I feel like adapted in this situation as needed, as I had the capacity for. Yeah, people laughed. They jibed. Nobody walked out half time or anything, so so that's all I can do right now. So yeah, happy enough with it.
How did you think, the panel done on the night? So say comedians, OPZ, Kenny, and then obviously the Charts of the Game Boys.
I think it was a good first event for everybody. I think I've never been to something like that before. There's an array of talent there. I think obviously there's nerves with a couple of us, myself included, that showed in certain people, and other people just pushed through that. I think the variety in content was interesting. I was very impressed by OPZs. I was very impressed by the crowd's reception to OPZs. I did feel like that was going to be a tough one, but felt like there was it catered for a certain amount of people in the crowd, which is all you can ask for.
He's an impressive lad, OPZ. And one thing I like doing, I'm not shy from doing it, no matter what level I think I'm at and where I'm trying to go and all this type of stuff. When we went to get food previously before we went back in to set up and stuff, I had a conversation with him, and just like Dave, we picked up Dave from Charts of the Game, and we'll touch on the boys. His mind is brilliant. You know what I mean?
My guy.
He the conversation I had with him, obviously he's back doing he's hoping to get back doing the content stuff. So yeah, it looks like you. Even me, I was afraid, because when you're doing like serious stuff, I even look at it even with me when I'm doing like with my views and stuff. When I'm doing the clown stuff, when I'm giving you the show, that's when 3.5, 4 are watching. Then you do the serious ones, no one really watches. You know what I mean? But I feel like these conversations are needed for me. I'm doing this for the youth, innit? I'm doing it for the youth, for people from Brooker, people from council estates. We have Dara in here, Dara from the flats. You know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of them people, they can relate to me with what I'm talking about and stuff like that. Because these things happen on our streets, you know what I mean? So it's important to have these type of conversations and be a good influence on people. So I feel like, you know, I'll push hard anyways for people like O'Peasy and obviously have them on and obviously charge to the game. For people to listen to them because they're that good, you know what I mean? Like even what you're doing as well, you're more like me. We're similar as well, but you're more probably, you articulate yourself a bit better. I think, you know, I'll do what knocks around, you know what I mean?
First thing I'll touch on is O'Peasy, in the sense that, like, I've been chatting to him for a while with regards to content and stuff, and we've bounced ideas off each other, and he's a good guy, and like I rate him highly. With regards to the articulate or not, purpose doesn't need numbers. It impact and influence are two different things. Impact is one person could watch and it could be the most influential thing that they've ever watched, and that's all that matters. Influence needs numbers. So if your purpose is to do one or the other and you know your why, it doesn't matter who's watching or how many people are watching in that sense, because I'm achieving my goal. Like, hopefully it would reach masses, but bad news spreads a lot faster than good news. So it's kind of like, as long as I'm happy with what I'm doing and you're happy with what you're doing, you find purpose in that, and the people from Brooker are, you know, shouting if you're happy with that, then success is relative, innit? So.
Yeah, just on that before I go on to my next gig, because I have one, I want to ask you a question. Something happened to me during the week going to work. Bleeding clown of a woman pissed me off on the Lewis, but definitely I always say that once I at least impact one person, it's not about like 100,000 or whatever. So long as I'm impacting someone and what I'm saying, or like I said with your story, you have a brilliant story and you've been through a lot and where you are today, to kind of impact a little girl, a little boy, like from these estates, whatever, I've done my job. And there's a lot of people that, like, you know, especially with me, you know, don't like what I'm doing and Don goes this, Don goes that, whatever, it is what it is. I'm out here trying to, you know, influence young people in a positive way. So I don't give a rat's whether it's 5, whether it's 10. Once it's 1,
10 million.
I don't care. But yeah, 10 million, yeah. But yeah, the next gig before we get into you. So I'm gonna ask you a question. And I want to I'm gonna ask you a question, you dope. I'm gonna ask you a question before we get into it. So I'm on the Lewis this week, yeah? So where I go on the Lewis, like, it's packed because obviously school kids are going and it's packed, sometimes I don't get a seat. My back's in bits, I can't be standing for 1 minute, an hour going into town. So a lot of these kids got off on the 4 seat to go off a bell guard. So I go, shit, I have a seat today, lovely, let me sit down. But then an Eastern European woman, sat ahead of me, like I'm facing her, But there was another woman then I got in front of. So the woman turned around and goes, you should let the woman sit. I was like, because usually you do give up your seat, you know what I mean? Like, so the usual when you're on public transport, if she's disabled, or if a person's disabled, or pregnant, or elderly, you know what I mean? You know the gig, right? She goes to me, woman should always, like, be first. I was like, I'm here, I'm watching a podcast. I'm like, no, like, I paid my ticket, I'll sit down, get off my lip. But she kept talking, she kept giving out. I don't think I got called a nigger in King James version, but I'll get into that in a second, right?
Crazy.
So.
Not even NIV.
What?
Not even NIV.
Bro, King James version, this is what she said, right? So she goes, she kept going on. I go, yeah, listen, woman, I don't care. Stop talking to me, like. She goes, us European people, we do that.
Yeah, it's a bit crazy.
Yeah. I'm not going too far.
I don't think it has anything to do with male or female. I don't think that when it comes to being able-bodied, and obviously apart from the categories that we mentioned, I think it's up to the user's discretion, right? Like, if you feel the need to, like, stand up for someone, do that. But
yeah, so that's what I was thinking. Sorry for Lesser Garni, because after she said us European people do that, yeah. So I stared at her, yeah. And I took you lot's advice, you know what I mean? Because sometimes I don't care about being the angry black person, I don't give a shit about it, I don't care. So I was like, I could light this Lewis up. But I just took 10-second pause. Yeah, I stared at her.
You're not making it into work, right?
I stared at her and I said, you know what, leave it, it is what it is, let me hold that, you get me? So I wasn't wrong for not keeping up my seat.
I don't think, I don't think that you're right either. Like, I think, like, we want to do feminism when we want to do feminism, innit? Like, if we're just saying traditionally, yeah, you should give up your seat for a woman, but we don't live in a traditional age. So back to people's discretion. I've seen people stand up for other people. I've seen young people sitting down when older people are standing up. So I don't think it's that big a deal. I do think that the comment that is pressing is us European people.
Because I was like, what?
European and African culture, if not more African culture, is more kind of traditional than it would be European. So she obviously has no knowledge of whatever your culture she thought your culture would be. So that's an ignorant statement.
Thank you very much. So I was just sitting there,
in my opinion.
You know what? It is what it is. But yeah, look, let's get into it. You're saying you might cry.
God, I've already started. Is there tissues?
So I was gonna bring this one, but obviously I'm hungover and all that. I don't have time. But yeah, let's get into it. So you grew up in Waterford.
Yeah, grew up in Waterford.
So talk to me about like growing up in Waterford. What's that like? Early childhood memories and stuff.
I had a great time. I'm a main character, bro. Yeah, I didn't really have much struggle in the sense of like my personality wise. Like I was good at sports. I was good at school. So primary school was the best time ever. My mom used to say like the principal would like if the school was to like burn down, like the principal would like back me if I was the one who did it. Like I had a lot of support from the community. So from Tramore, big up Tramore. Place has a dear place in my heart. Why are you laughing? Tramore's the best place in the world, bro. Sorry, it's not Brooklyn.
Is that so? What? Because obviously, I want to do something. I already spoke to Dara about this. I spoke to a couple of people about this. Because obviously, I've been playing football. We're gonna go into your football as well. So I never really like visited areas like that too tough and no one. So what is it like growing up like in them areas? Is there many black people there? Would it be as much as there is here? What's the areas like? Because I'm gonna touch on an article that I was reading up on you.
What I learned about my life versus the typical black person there is that it was somewhat different. I think my family was somewhat like privileged in the sense of we started living in direct provision when we moved to Ireland. But in there we found kind of allies and people who were willing to help my mum, my dad, and my family. So yeah, like I didn't really have in the sense of like a typical black kid in the sense of like racial abuse, stuff like that. Like I had the privilege of growing up as Nessa, whatever that was, or whoever that was. It wasn't limited to a status or a housing location or a passport until certain times, but from very young, I was grand. I was grand.
Yeah. You touched. I was gonna ask you. This is one of the questions. Obviously, I'm gonna segue into it because I never really hear you speak about your dad, and obviously, if you watch my podcast, the last
season, straight into it. Crazy.
We touch on, and even the last episode, we heard David talk about his relationship with his dad, how it was as a kid, and what is that now. And obviously, you heard Blair talk about his dad. You heard me talk about my dad. So with you, like I said, I always heard about your relationship with your mom and stuff. Obviously, you've been away just recently, and what's your relationship with your dad? Because I never hear you talk about him.
My dad's not alive.
That was the danger of the question. So that's why I wanted to ask you on the pod. I didn't want to like obviously let you know really I was going to ask you that question. So that's obviously the reason why you never really touched on him. But what are your memories of him?
I mean, he passed away like 6 years ago, 2016. So I have a decent memory of him in the sense that like I was 20, I don't know, whatever I was 6 years ago. 20 years old, 18. Yeah, I have some memories of him.
It's like, because even with, my missus as well, her father passed when she was, I think, 18. And I was seeing how that has impacted her life. In a sense, there was a big gap and a big hole filled, a big hole left, sorry. What has, how has that impacted in your life?
I think my relationship with my dad, the latter part of his life wasn't great in the sense that didn't really get on most of the time. We're very similar. He had a couple of personal issues that I didn't really take to. I'm a middle child, very outspoken. He's also very outspoken.
Oh shit, that's a clash. This with me and my mom.
And my dad, bro. Like, as much as I didn't know I was until he passed away, I'm my dad. Here we go.
Oh shit.
What you want to know? I mean, you did ask me a question, didn't
No,
it?
of course, answer any way you want to answer. Any way you want to. And I feel like, you know what, people watching you, they might look and say, oh, you know, geez, goody, you know what I mean? Like, that's a bit heavy, but like,
They're right.
I feel, fourth person to put on the pod.
I told you.
I feel like our relationship, the way we are, and I've opened up to you and I've said some stuff to you that I haven't told a lot of people. I feel like
Why did you go and tell me on camera as well?
I'm qualified to ask you that question.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't take. I don't take offense to it. One thing about me, if you know me, you probably think I overshare, but I don't think I overshare. I just say what it is. Like, my life is my life. To get me, like, shit happened. I would say that emotionally, the impact of my dad passing away when I was younger, or passing away at all, it's a lot. Obviously, it's your dad, but the emotional, what's the word I'm looking for? The distress came because of how we ended the relationship, in the sense that we weren't like that. Do you get me? So losing someone that you're beefing with or you're not really on good terms with is hard, because my Burna Boy t-shirt, bro.
Where's that being blue all in here?
Nah, sorry. I'm not gonna say where it is, but so losing.
Oh shit! I wanted to talk about
losing someone that you're not on good terms with is tough, because you have to do a lot of the accountability and apologizing for them, or you need to heal despite that. So there's.
Take your time. Take your time.
Bad beat. Get me.
Take your time.
You two, you come on my own.
Nah, don't worry, man.
Losing someone who you're beefing with, or you haven't had a great relationship, you have to get over things without them explaining. You don't get answers. Do you know what I mean? So that was tough. Because if you know me, I'm a vocal person. Like, I need to know why. Why is my favorite question. So when you don't know why, you go through that kind of. One day I could be really angry, like, I'm really sad, but either way, it's just me. I don't have anybody to talk to.
And you know what? I really want to hug you right now, because them tears, they're flowing like bleeding. Fucking hell, man. Like a tsunami in them boys. Someone got a tissue, boys. Fly out. Take your time.
Yeah, this camera better not be on me for this part.
I you, bro.
This camera on me. But can I keep talking, or?
Of course, keep blabbing on, yeah, go on.
Man said trauma equals content, you know? Jesus, not that much. Come on.
No, it's that much. Fucking hell.
Alright, so yeah, I feel like I've said the same thing over and over again, yeah. So essentially, you go through whatever stages of grief there are, whatever stages you're going through, like, but you have to deal with that. Like, I had to deal with that. The way I found out was when I was in college in America. My coach called me into a room, just randomly, just one, I think it was a Tuesday, called me in to her office. I was like, what's going on? Like, it's funny because I was injured at the time. So I was injured at the time, and I was helping film one of the matches, and I was chatting mad as shit, man. So I was like,
usual standard.
So then, what can I say? It's me, Nesser. So I was obviously in the recording, so I'm just like, oh, these people have been editing the vids, like, they definitely heard me chat shit with these people. That was what I told my was my biggest problem. So my mom was on the phone, she told me, and the first thing I said was, oh, great. Because to me, at that time, my dad caused me a lot of pain. So I was like, look, like, the least you could do is be alive. Do you know what I mean? And the first people I thought of was my brother, my sister, and my mum, obviously, because at the time I wasn't as emotional as this. Like, I didn't show my emotions. I was like, whatever, like, do you know what I mean? Then I walked out, my two best friends at the time were there to take me back to the apartment. I'm busting jokes. I was like, and then they're all like, honest, I was like, yo, it's my dad that died, not yours. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, why is everybody gloomy? Like, can we just go? Because I'm like, what do you guys want me to do? Break down here? Can I break down my room? Do you know what I mean? So then that was tough, because I'm in America, I think 5 days before, a couple of days before, I just found out that I tore my ACL, and then you're telling me that my dad dies. Like, that's heavy. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's that. I don't even know what the question was at this stage.
No, it's gone. We're putting in, we're chatting here, and again, fair play to you for opening up. Like I said, even last week on the episode, David touched and said, we're getting a bit deep here. And one thing I like about when people are giving me feedback about my episodes is like they really feel the emotion of the guest that's speaking. You know? Feel
this and follow me on Instagram.
Yeah, we'll do all that. We'll do all that. Don't worry, we'll do it. We'll plug you. Yeah,
I'm crying for no reason.
It's like I want people like when they're at home, because there is people that can like relate to this. You know, people, even me, right? My dad he's been sick, he's been ill now the last couple of years, and a couple of months ago I said this on Charge to the Game. He got to a stage where he was very bad. You know, I've always known my dad to be like a, you know, typical strong African man, whatever, all this type of stuff. But for 5 minutes I was on the phone to him when obviously I was trying to sort out to know what the gig is, what's going on, and you just hear weakness in his voice, like his voice was gone, he couldn't speak. And even me, I had that regret there as well, where it was like, if he goes now, I've never fixed whatever's going on. I used to always think like, you need to come to me, do you get me? You're no, but some people say like, we're at an age where maybe we should fix it now.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Because they've grown up different to us.
100%.
I wouldn't be like that with my children, you know what I mean? Like,
it's not your fault that you're hurt, but it is your responsibility to heal. So it's your responsibility to make that connection if you feel that there should be a connection. However, they ruined it. Like, when you're a child, you're a clean slate. So it's their mess. They should clean it up. But should is a privilege. Like, should is not a word. Should is not a must. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, there's a lot of things we should do, we don't do it. So I agree with you in the sense that, yeah, like, we can make amends because we know, but they should fix it. Do you get me? But unfortunately, like I said, should is a privilege. Not everybody gets to do what they should do.
There's little things that I've caught them doing. Like one thing I'll give him, like I said this already, but he's very good with my children. And even the other day, I picked my son up from my mum's. I was going home, and Ma called me and said, "No, come back here down, let's give you a lift." Like, go back to the guy. Obviously, he just want his grandchild walking out in the cold. So just little stuff like that, and even like how I'm trying to like make the relationship better, because I don't want to live with that, like, you know, I could have done more. Because it's like when like you start giving people flowers when they pass and all, it's like, oh, I don't want that in my head, like, oh, I should have done this, should have done that, you know what I mean? Like, so even me, like, what we used to do back in the day, like when I was a bit younger, he loves football. Like, you think that Amy's out here suffering at home, my man suffers as well. I'll come home, my dad's watching Luton versus Plymouth. Do you know what I mean? He'll watch all football, you know what I mean? Like, so I'll just ask, he's a Chelsea fan, the rat. I'll be like, yeah, like, what do you think of the manager getting sacked, and what do you think of this, what do you think of that? So that's where I'm trying to, like, obviously improve on the relationship, you know. But just to piggyback a little bit, yeah, back to Waterford. I was reading an interesting article on you, on the 4-2. You did a piece on that, and what shocked me is like, and this is gonna ties into, because Smiley always tends to be like, we're having these deep conversations, and you're gonna go away from the if I speak brand. It's like, no, stuff like this, like, you know, it annoyed me when I was reading. It was like, your neighbours were shocked that your mum had bought her house and not rented it.
Yeah.
What was the gig with that? Like,
before we segue, one thing about losing my dad that I just want to say, I guess.
Yeah.
On my birthday, someone said happy birthday, or I don't know, my birthday or his birthday. I posted it, and big up 7th Dobie. So a guy that used to live in Waterford, he's an artist now in London. He texted me. He was just like, "Oh, I'll never forget your dad used to pick me up, like, and stuff, because he lived near us." Shit like that pisses me off. Not from him, but because, like, even at his funeral or whatever, people are telling me all these great things about my dad. I'm like, that's not the guy. Like, it's not that my dad was a bad guy, but it's like, I didn't get the privilege of seeing him the way everybody else did. Did you get me? So it's mad, like, it's annoying. Because my sister and my brother probably have a different perspective to my dad than I do. And it's like, trying to, like, talk to them during that whole thing, it's like, they be sad. Like, obviously I'm sad that my dad passed away, do you get me? But it's like, they feel it different, and I'm just like, okay, cool, do you know what I mean? But mine is more from, like, a responsibility than it is from, like a raw emotion. Do you get me? Now it's raw emotion, but, like, at the time it just took so long to get in the place where it's like, okay, he's your dad too, do you get me? It's not like you're not just there for your mom and your brother and your sister, like you're also grieving this directly, like, but initially I was grieving it indirectly in the sense that I was grieving because my brother and my mom, my sister were grieving. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, that was like, sorry, I'm answering your question mad late. I'm doing what I hate my guests do.
No, it's fine,
but
it's
yeah,
fine. But part
well,
of it is what it is.
back to the question you asked me. So where I grew up in Waterford. So I grew up in Tramore. I don't live there right now. So obviously cost of living crisis and that. So after we left Dark Provision, mum and dad were working at the time, got a really nice house, amazing house. A lot of people leave Tramore. A lot of black people leave Tramore once they get their papers, because Tramore is a very quiet place. Black people don't like that. So they moved to the cities. So we were living there, and then dad lost his job. Then obviously now we're on council housing. So we didn't go on to council housing like immediately. So I'm not used to struggling and all that. Like, two of my parents have a job. Like, I live in a 3-bed with flipping playroom and a playroom. Like, do you get me? A sitting room and a playroom. Like, do you get me? So this is the quality of life that I'm given out the box. Do you know what I mean? And then living in a council estate, I don't relate to the people that are there. I'm just there because of circumstance. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So we're living in council estate, and my mom's never given me a victim mentality. Like, no matter what she's been through, we're making it. Do you get me? Like, I'm living in a council estate, but I'm not from a council. And that's not like a dig at anybody who lives in a council. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody or whatever, but that's not the mentality that I have. Like, we're here because of a situation, but we're going to get out. Do you know what I mean? So, got out then, so we started living somewhere else. Like, mum's trying to, like, get us, like, the council houses aren't great, so my mum was like, look, I don't want these type of houses, like, I want our own house. So then got to a place where we're renting houses, and like every time we're renting, the flipping landlord or something sells the house or wants to increase the rent for something else. And then Tramore's, like I said, Tramore's a very nice place, so rent is going up. So mum's like, look, I can't live here. So, but she wants her own house because she's sick of it. So mum obviously gets a mortgage. Where we have our house now is like in the other side of the city. Also a nice quiet part, but at the time it was just being built up, just at the end of the flipping recession or whatever. So luckily she was able to get literally mum bought like the walls. Like, it was, there's no plaster on it. Like, it's, I don't even know, cement on the walls. Like, that's what I walked into. Came home one day, I think it was Christmas, on holidays from America. And mum's like, yeah, I'm gonna show you this house, whatever. Obviously, brother and sister knew. But I was a bit fiery. When I was younger, I disagreed with everything. I'm like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? Why? I don't want to do this. I want to live in Watford. Like, I'm a problem in the house, essentially. So then she obviously tells me last, and I'm just like, I don't want this. Like, what is this? Like, it's just walls. Like, why would you want walls? Like, just live in Tramore. I love Tramore. And like, this is where I've grown up. Why are you taking me out of the place that I'm living to go to this other place? I don't want to go to this other place. You get me? So then she didn't listen to me. Good woman. Good on her, because I live in my house now. And mum built that from the ground up. And then in our estate, I just assumed that people just bought their house because we bought our house. But I think there's some council houses in the estate.
Yeah, they do that. Some they'll give council.
Yeah, but it's not a council estate or whatever.
Yeah.
But then I live in a nice place, essentially. So you'll see a certain caliber of people, you see certain types of cars, whatever. So then obviously because there was council estates there, I think people thought that ours had to be a council estate. So I'm in America, I come back and my mom's telling me these stories and I'm like, the hell they mean that it's a council estate? Like, once again, not a dig at anybody that's benefiting from schemes and stuff. Everybody's in a different position, but it was the fact that because we looked a certain way, we couldn't afford a certain thing. When my mom did that as a single woman in this economy, like, big ups to you, Sarah Gunnar, like, do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, when she told me that, I was really pissed off, but like I said, my mom's never brought me up to be a victim, and she's never been a victim herself. So being in the midst of these type of people, where certain people have, like, rich people on the street, but we're in the midst of other people, but it's like, because we're black, we're automatically can't be up there either. Do you get me? So that was one of the signs that I was like, yo, like, we're different. Whereas in Tramore, we have the privilege of being the Obunas. Like, do you get me? We're good at football, we're good at school, whatever. It doesn't matter what, like, colour we are, we're just us. Then we get out of there, and then now we're just black. Do you get me? So that was a bit unsettling, but I wasn't really there to experience that. I was in America playing ball, so I came back and that's
You know, I'm glad you touched on it because, like I said, when I was reading up on you, I said, right, because like I said, for me, my best episode, not just because he's a name or whatever, it is John Connors, and I think it's because I done in-depth research on my guest, and when I came across that, it pissed me off. I even seen the part where it said when minorities are living in these type of areas, the value of the houses go down or something.
That's a social phenomenon.
It's
everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. It's why you have groups of same type of people of social economic status in the one place, because as humans we want to be quantified. As much as we don't want to, we want to be quantified. You want to be around people that look like you, earn like you, and then that's why people from certain levels are inspired to be at a different level, because it's not all together. That's a capitalist society that we live in, and yeah, I hate that that's what happens, but that's what happens. So obviously there's crisis in the world and stuff. Ireland's quite generous with that. Waterford's a very generous place in the sense of taking in refugees and whatever. So I'm guessing, I think it was Syria at this time or Romania, one of those, and there was Syria as well has had issues, but I think this time it was one of those countries anyway, and there was like a bunch of refugees and stuff, and there was this house that was free, and there was like a rotation of people in there, so you knew it wasn't like they weren't buying the house, you get me? So yeah, you could tell that there was a difference between how people associate themselves with those kids versus everybody else. And I'm sure if we were young, there would have been a difference in the way that families treated us if we were kids playing with their kids on the roads, because there's certain people who say hi, there's certain people that... I
was going to ask you, what was it like with other kids, like the
certain,
kids and that?
In Waterford, grand.
Yeah.
I didn't have any issues. There's one girl that tried to bully me, but she wasn't even top of the pack, like, bro, like, you can't bully me if you're not, do you get me? Like, essentially, this guy, they were playing like Would You Rather, and she asked this guy that I was friends with, would you rather kiss me or Nessa? And he goes, Nessa. And then she goes, why? She's black. And then he goes,
hey.
and then he goes, but yeah, you're you. Do you get me? So I didn't get that being black thing. Do you get me? I was just Nessa. Do you get me? And then when people try to be racist, it didn't really work, because I've set a standard for myself that it's not a color thing. Do you get me? Like, it's high, like what we're doing is high quality shit. Like, I'm doing school well, I'm doing whatever to the best of my ability. Like, yeah, I was a clown as well, but because I was satisfying certain things, I was allowed to be myself. So that's what I'm saying, in the sense that I didn't get those experiences of racism and stuff, because I was able to overcome certain things where that didn't become an excuse or a problem or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Which now I understand is a privilege. Do you know?
Just on that, do you think we should apply that to everyday life now?
Yes. I don't live by, I have to work twice as hard to get twice as far.
So you don't live by it. Do you
I believe
that's
it.
true?
I believe it.
I
believe it in certain scenarios. However, I do think it's a limiting belief, in the sense that what you believe is how you will act. If you believe that you need to work twice as hard to get twice as far, and once again, this is not generalized statement. This is how I live my life. Do you get me? Right. A lot of what we do is manifesting. Right. We're Christians. Like energies are real. Do you get me? No matter what you think. So I'm walking in a place knowing that I'm gonna do 100% of whatever. If it's gonna be a racial thing or an attitude thing, we're gonna know, because I'm gonna be my best. I'm gonna do the best. I'm gonna act the best. So you're not gonna have any excuse to pull me on anything else. So, you know, sometimes when they try to use, they didn't do work or they're lazy, whatever, you're not going to use any negative adjectives on me first. So then we're going to know that if we want to go racist, let's go racist, because I'm ticking all the boxes anyway. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So that's why I don't subscribe to that, right? Obviously, there's going to be people who just don't like me or whatever, but we come from a football background, right? If you're the best player in the room, you're getting played, bro. Do you get what I'm trying to say? There's going to be there's going to be issues, but if you're the, like, by far the best player, there's going to be very little times that you're going to be subject to a lot of, like, the issues. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Not all the time, not 100% of the time. It's a very flawed view on life, which is why I don't generalize it. It's how I live my life. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm not knocking down anybody else's perspective, but it's worked for me so far. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I'm not going to be ignorant to that, just that point on football there, because on season 1, I remember my brother Sean's episode, I came on here and smoked, black people are playing now. Not going to use the colour thing, because that's very lazy and very stupid of me as well. But in football, let me tell you something, it's political, man. I love football, you know. I love football. It's my life. I love football. You know what I mean? Like, I'd give my arm to just play one game at the Emirates. You know what I mean? Like, to walk out in front of Arsenal fans, I'd love that. But it's a sport where sometimes the best players don't play. It is very political. You know what I mean?
It is.
But with that attitude though, like, if I'm taking all the boxes, especially with black people, because we talk in our group chats about like the Men's Senior League, and even my brother Sean's going through it, Giannis, all these boys, like they go through it, like they'll be better than the next man here, but they're not gonna play him because of whatever reason. You know what I mean? Like, so like.
Once again, which is why I said it's a very flawed way of thinking, and it comes from a place of privilege in the sense of my experiences. So it's limited. It starts and ends with me.
Okay.
You get me? But I would urge anybody of any race, color, whatever, go into every room and every opportunity and put your best foot forward.
Okay.
Because sometimes, let's be honest, like there's racial stuff there, but sometimes there's personality flaws also. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, 100%.
A lot of the times it's not. A lot of the times it's not just racism.
No, 100%.
Do you know what I'm like? So if me and you like, because there's this one incident in Tremor one time. There's this kid who kept getting in trouble. He was black. Guards kept bringing him home. His mum's giving out, and she kept saying like you guys are racist. You guys are racist. You're always bringing my son home. Blah 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 blah. And he goes, no, like we like. I hate this story because it's privilege. It's a privileged story. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm acknowledging that. Don't blaze me. This is my story. The guards used my family as an example. They were like, we see this family, like they wave at me in Tremor. Like I'm not used to like the violence that is in Dublin. Do you get, back then, I don't know what it is right now. They use my family as an example in the sense that we talk to these people, we go to them, like, look at Vanessa, look at Emmanuel, whatever. We're not racist in this. Your son is doing bad things. That's why he's here. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That's what I'm saying. If you take out every other variable to the best of your ability and it's still not going your way, and the only thing is race, it's racism. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But if you're mixing it with personality flaws, then what can we do?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah, no, you're spot on this. You're spot on, 100%. We touched on football, so obviously I'm come on here and talk about Nessa, but we will touch on that, but you're the first, I think. Is it okay to say female? Can't you be afraid to say female? But these days you can't even say female athletes. I've seen some girls say, I don't know, one conversation I was having before.
Female apparently it's an animal.
Yeah, it could be an animal. I was like, what?
I don't want to talk to him. What you're talking to me?
Yeah.
I'm a female. So from my understanding, I'm the first African-born female to reach the heights that I've played in football in Ireland.
Right. So before we got you, your introduction into football. So you're the fourth female athlete that I've had on. You interviewed Sinead, MMA. I'm gonna try to get her on myself, and then some other MMA fighters who are women as well. So I'm interested in that because, like, you know, one question I want to ask, like, women fighters, like, do you ever see when you're in a relationship, do you feel like you can kill your fella because you're a fighter? Say your fella's not a fighter. I'd love to ask that. I always think that. I don't know why I think that.
I don't know about fighting, but I used to have that where it's kind of like if I.
Why, you think you beat your man up?
Not beat. I'm not a fighter.
No, I'm just saying. Like,
but with regards to football, I'm saying in relation to how it relates to me, like.
Oh yeah,
my first, I'm pretty much only boyfriend at this age, was a football player, and I used to always say that I was better than him. He was a striker as well. I always say I'm faster and I have better touch than him.
Yeah.
One day we were playing football on a track. He was like, "I
touch like a trampoline."
No, listen. He was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Nessa, let's go." Right? There's video of me getting smoked on the track. Like he just, I was like, "Alright, cool. You're faster than me, Cam. You got this one in it." But yeah, like there is that sense that if you're not up to standard, like it's not gonna work, you know. And even with relationships with me, like there was one guy I dated or was chatting to, and he was just too gassed that I played Champions League. Did you get me? Like it was just way too gassed, and it's like it didn't work anyway. But that was uncomfortable for me because it's like, as much as I'm a woman and I'm somewhat like powerful or outspoken or something, like I want to be like, I don't want to be the dominant one in my relationship. So I don't want someone too gassed over me, over stuff like that. Do you get me? Like I obviously want you to be gassed over me, but in a certain way that I'm your girl, not because I'm a football player, because you're moving like a fan now. You know what I'm trying to say? Like I want you to be my supporter, not my fan. So I hear on that.
Yeah. So your introduction into football. So why football? What was your early memories of playing ball?
So the first time I ever played, so I was always, my brother was my best friend. Is my best friend. So I remember when we moved to Tremor, in the Dark Provision Centre, they would always take us to athletics. They would take us to different like sports. People come in and put different like things on the wall for kids to do. So they would take us on a bus and bring us down to a field, and there's different tried to integrate us into community. So we started athletics, obviously killed that, big up Mr. Gregan. But then one day my brother started going football, but didn't ask me to come football, right? So then he was really enjoying it, and then one day, you already know me, like, I'm clingy, bro, like, so I was like, no, I want to go with Manuel as well, like, so I walked down with him and my dad, and then, so, you know, like, academy football, it's like, when the kids are playing, they split the field into 4, like it's a quadrant, so then obviously three of those quadrants were boys and like 1 were girls, so then there was girls from my class in primary school, and then there was girls from athletics as well. When they saw me, they're calling me, and I was like, Dad, can I go? And then I just went, big ball of energy, like running around people. Then I was dead in like 2 seconds, but it was just so much adrenaline at a young stage. I didn't know what adrenaline was, but it just felt right. I was like, I need to be here. And then big up Stuart, coach came up to my dad and was like, you know, she can come with Emmanuel, like when he's coming and stuff. Just kept going, and then within a year or 2 I got signed to a team, and I mean the rest is history.
Yeah. So I never really asked you this before. So what position where are you? Like, where did you play?
So I played everywhere, but
what's your main position? Where are you, like, where? Because I know you said like Steven Gerrard is your idol, and me as well. Growing up, obviously an Arsenal fan, but I remember when Liverpool won the Champions League in 2005, I was watching that games. So I used to watch my games on RTE, and I used to watch. I remember they beat last 16. No, they needed to win Olympiacos. They needed to beat them by 2 goals. And Gerrard scored that screamer, the volley outside the box. And ever since then, I fell in love with him. And that whole, like, you know, that whole time, like, he's been Liverpool's obviously hero, always saving them. Scored that goal to get them back into the game against Milan. And I felt sorry for him as well, because obviously he never won a Premier League. That's what
he was too loyal, man.
He's way too loyal. He should have, you know what I mean? Bounce, get yourself a few, and then come back. For me, if I was to say that to him, for me. But yeah, so what is you play in the middle, centre mid?
I started off centre mid because of Xavi Alonso and Steven Gerrard. So Xavi Alonso, no, Luis Garcia and Steven Gerrard. I just loved them. And then while playing there, I realised that it's not for me, bro. The running,
especially them days, it would have been the 4-4-2 days, and you running, up and down.
Yeah, I'm not built like that. So then obviously I'm a big girl. So put me centre back. So I was playing centre back. I was playing centre back under. So I was playing for 3 age groups. I was playing for my age groups and the age above and the age above. So I was playing like 13, 15, 17 at the age of like 11. Right. So then I was playing centre back in my age group because I would just run the pitch and score. And then I would play probably left back on the middle one, and then I'd be forward for the olders, either way. So anyway, I ended up switching, playing different positions. Then when I went for Ireland trials, they were like, why'd you keep running up the pitch and scoring? Just stay up there. Like, I was like, that's a good idea.
So you would run from centre back and score?
I would just run from centre back and score.
Okay.
And then obviously I would just get my breath when it was tip off. And then I met one of my best friends, Kayla, from doing that, and she.
Sorry, Claudia, you don't pass the ball.
What?
You don't pass the ball.
I didn't need to. I just told you that I ran the pitch and scored. Like,
don't be doing that.
But that was underage. So once again, I think I'm just gonna stop here and just say, like, I do thank God for the experiences that I had and the people that were in my life to allow me to be the person that I became, because I didn't have a lot of hardship in certain areas of my life. Obviously now it's coming like flipping when it rains it pours, but from a young age I was able, like, a lot of people call me naive in the sense of the way I see the world and like wanting to be happy and love people, but that's what I was given. Do you know? So I want to afford that to other people. Yeah, so with football I was allowed to do whatever I wanted to do at a young age. Then obviously the technical side of things lacked because I was just strong and powerful and fast. But then when I went for the Ireland trials, I forgot his name. Was it Paddy Kenny? Something like that. He was a coach and he was just like, look, you're fast, stay up there, give yourself 5 give yourself 5 yards. He was like,
play it down the line,
not even. He was like, why do you keep starting at the same line as the defender? That's why you're offside. He's like, give yourself 5 yards. When the ball is coming, check, go meet the ball. No one's gonna beat you. Did that and was like golden boot for a couple of years. Do you know what I mean? So that was my trajectory position wise. But I've even played keeper. It was just literally once again big ups to Peter, Jacob, and Decky at Tremor Football Club. Like, it was wherever they needed a player, they were putting me in there. Do you get me?
So you're all over that goalkeeper, I know.
Yeah.
I want to talk about, obviously, I remember even speaking to you off cam in your house. I remember you were talking about football journeys, and one of your biggest goals and your biggest dreams was to play for Ireland. And obviously there was a couple of struggles before that. Just touch on that, like with the passport situation, and we'll get into all the other stuff, like obviously why kind of like you stopped, and even me. I don't think I've ever said this on my own pod, but I want to kind of touch on even like, you know, America as well, and me getting injured. And obviously that stopped me, and then obviously your illness stopped you as well. But just on you know, the Irish team. So talk to me about that process.
So like I said, I had a lot of privileges when I was younger. A lot of things went well. I had the burden, I call it now, the burden of success at a young age.
Yeah.
When I was doing well, so Gaynor Cup is like the equivalent of Kennedy Cup for the lads. So I was going to that all the years. Like I think I even went to it like a year earlier.
Oh wait, so you go every year for that?
Yeah.
Because Kennedy Cup, you only go one or two in. I won Kennedy Cup.
So they switched it. So it was like 13, 15, 17, and then it'd be 12, 14, 18, 12, 14, 16, 18. So on every flip year, we'd go, but also there's not enough women or girl football, so everybody got to go kind of. So then I got called up to the Irish team. Obviously a great privilege. Did well. And then made it to the last 18 or something, you know, like when they cut down,
trim the squad down,
whatever. Yeah. So I made it, and bear in mind I'm tracking from Waterford to Dublin at this time, and it's M50 didn't exist.
Where were you training? Was it in the AOL?
AOL, yeah. So all the way from Waterford.
That's a journey.
Yeah, 4 hours. So Dad was driving me up at the time, with a couple of the girls' parents and stuff. So obviously made it through. And then the last day was like the week of I think it was Easter break or something. And then they were like, look, like we're going to England in a couple of days, like be ready, everybody like come to the dressing room, get your head ready, get whatever, we're going out. I had never not made a team at this point, by the way. So I told you I played in 3 age groups, like 2 above my age and everything up till then. At this stage then, they walk into the room, they go, oh, by the way, like, is everybody's like passports and everything grand? And then I goes, like, I knew enough to know that, like, I'm not an illegal immigrant or whatever. Like, you get me? But I was like, but I also knew enough to know that I can't just go to flipping England whenever I want. You know?
As I said, I have my papers.
So then I just goes to them, I was like, I don't like have anything wrong with my passport, but I would need a visa. Clearly don't know how long a visa will take. And then we're playing halftime, they put me up, like, you know, in the AOL there's the pub where you get to so put me up, and me there sitting with my dad, I was like, oh, what's going on? And they were like, look, like you can't play, like you don't have an Irish passport, so technically you can't play for Ireland. And I, till this day, I think there's very little days that I've cried as hard as I cried then. All the way driving back with my dad, and bless him, like I didn't do my dad justice in the start of this. Like obviously we didn't get along well because of my dad, to get me. But in the car driving back, typical Nigerian man, it's okay, why are you crying? It's okay. But that's how he knew to relate to me. Do you get me? Obviously I'm crying, doesn't know what to do. Like obviously you get home now, I'm in flipping home ec or whatever, and seeing my friends in England Snapchatting me. It was the most devastating feeling ever, because at the time you can understand a young person who had kept succeeding. I'm pretty cocky, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I'm like people that I'm better than are on this team and stuff. That's how I looked at it at the time. And they're snapping me and stuff. My best friends were there, Ashley and Rebecca Carl at the time, like from the team. And yeah, it was heartbreaking. That was kind of the first of the downfall for me in football. Kind of broke me. I stopped trying in school because I was just like, I'm smart anyway. Like I was like, you guys know I'm smart, but I need to keep working hard. Started going out a lot more, drinking with my friends, like going out, partying and stuff like that. Because to me, I'm a very process-oriented person. I'd done everything that I could do up till then. I didn't have a view of a future. The future for me was playing for Ireland or playing professionally. And to me, if I couldn't do that now, I never could. So I was like, what's the point in me training and doing all this? Like I can get on any team. The one thing I want, I can't get. So I'm giving it all up. That's pretty much how my brain worked. Then I started going out, eating whatever I wanted, drinking, like going out partying and stuff, being a big rebel. Then I was already in the process of trying to go to America at this stage at 15. So I already got in touch with the agency and stuff. They told me what to do, but obviously you have to be a certain age to start it anyway. So it's been in the back of my mind. But then I put it to the back burner. Started playing again here and there. Waterford started getting teams playing, just kind of passively playing. Like my talent took me there, my brain wasn't there. And then I kind of halfway did it. I was like, I'm not good enough to go to America. Like, there's no point. Like, do you get me? Like, it just was playing on the back of my mind for years. I didn't sign to Wexford Youth at the time. The Women's National League just started. I was like, I can't be arsed putting in all this work to play with these people if I can't make the Ireland team. That's how I thought at the time. So then I doing Leaving Cert. Leaving Cert's done. Going through a bunch of other like issues as well, family wise and just person wise. So then I remember getting my CAO, going to flipping UCC for public health. I was happy with that. Then I signed for Cork City, and then we played against Wexford. I remember they beat us 10-0 or 10-1 or something. And I started to leave because there's players that I was better than for so many years. I can't touch. I'm unfit. Touch is shit. And I was like, this isn't me. Do you get me? I was like, I'm not this player. Like, do you get me? So I re-established that the process with regards to going to America. And then I was like, yeah, once the college year was over, I was going, and thankfully I got a good enough scholarship to let me not downplay it. I got 100% scholarship to a D1 school. Not being gassed, but I don't want to downplay my blessings because at that time, at that time that was a blessing. I just told you that I'm overweight, I'm going out partying, not in it. So for somebody to look at me and be like, this is the player that we want, was the best thing ever. It was being chosen at that time, you know? So yeah.
Just to go back a little bit on that moment you found out, you were like, right, you haven't got your passport. Like you obviously touched on your emotion, your feelings towards you know, being in the car crying, your dad telling you to calm down. Did that make you, because see, this passport stuff is heavy, because even me, I'm taking people on a journey, so the day I do get my Irish passport, it's going to be a celebration, it's a party, and then that, because I know what that feels like, where I remember going on trial. I'll tell you this is a fact. I went on trial my only ever trial. Went to Birmingham City when I was 14. I earned Alan McConaughey's passport, and I remember my manager, Stephen O'Connor, shout out Stephen Crumlin, and obviously I was like, well, I need a visa, but he kept telling me, yeah, he's gonna bring me, but he never brought me. Obviously that's responsibility, my mum, dad, whatever. So I remember then someone telling me, oh, with England, this is why I went to France with ID with Aer Lingus, because I remember back in the day I done that. I went to Birmingham on trial with a bus pass, with my date of birth on and my picture. Yeah. Do you get me? Well, on the way back, if I didn't say, because obviously I was under my dad's name, under the immigration, all that, blah, 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 I'm not getting into it, it's long. But I wouldn't run for that. I'm probably getting sent back to bleeding, God knows where, you know what I mean? Like, and it is heavy. I remember going to America as well. I got refused the visa the first time. I just like you, I was desperate to get over Ireland because I felt like, yeah, there was elements of the victim stuff we were talking about earlier, where, oh, I'm not playing because I'm black, or he's playing because of favorites and blah, blah. I was just desperate for a fresh start. I'm going to go to America. Went in there now, there was just a couple of things missing, documents wise, but I was refused. And I remember just walking out the embassy in bits, because I was desperate to get out, you know what I mean? Like, but my question, after that really long monologue, is, does that make you feel not Irish or less Irish? To put a better question. How did that make
I didn't feel less Irish. It was put on me that I was.
That you were less, okay.
So
I was trying that, yeah.
I'm a logical person, this fact. I can't, if the rule is, I can't, if the rule is you can't play unless you're like grandfathered in, whatever, I'm not that. I'm a resident in this country at that stage, and I knew enough of that at that age to know that this is a fact, it didn't work. Then I started getting calls from flipping Amnesty International, obviously aunties and stuff. The same aunties that were telling me not to play football, who they're now coming to come and advocate for me, saying that, oh, it's because she's black, blah, blah, blah. If she was in England, they'd fight for her. Obviously, my mom's believing that she doesn't know any better. Like, and I'm like, bro, these people fought for me to come from Waterford to Dublin to play. They saw me, they've chatted to me. Like, unless you're a sadistic human being, it's a lot easier for a racist to go, no, at the very start, and not even look at me. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I don't believe that anybody was racist or trying to be whatever. So it's like, I never felt othered. Do you get what I'm trying to, like, you know football, bro, you'd feel othered. Like, when we're doing drills, I'm in the first team. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm part of the people that are starting at this stage. So it's like, that's when I'm not Nessa anymore. I'm black, I'm Nigerian, I'm all of these things, identity. Start coming in where I've been thriving by being me, and now people are telling me who I am, and now I have to like have these conversations. I'm like, bro, like, get off the phone. Like, it's not a situation. You're not making this more than it is. Because even after that, I was still going Gainer Cup. I was still getting chosen, even when I wasn't even trying, bro. Do you get me? And the same coach kept coming up to me. He was like, "What's the crack with the passport?" I'm like, "Yo, like, Paddy, like, don't have it." Do you get me? Like, until I was 18, I got it. But my coaches would have gone to hell and back for me. We went to Wales for football. Like Peter was on my visa and Stuart was on my brother's visa. We both went to Wales with the team, and they made sure that we weren't not going to be there. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's like, that's put on me. Like, I was just Nessa. And then I still didn't think anything about it because, once again, tunnel vision, selfish as a human. I just want what's for me. I didn't really care at that moment for those things. But yeah.
So that's why I see with racism, like, that's why, like, I find that, like, I do go at people, and even on TikTok, like, there was a couple of times where there was beef on TikTok, and this was season 1. I used to respond. I don't respond anymore where that's because there's a lot of trolls. I call them pedophiles on TikTok, because there's a lot of weirdos on that. But one thing I'll always, you know, when I'm talking about, I don't like to generalize, because just like that, your coaches did everything they could to, you know, make sure that everything's right for you. And I remember, like, when I was speaking about racism, like, bro, especially with my man and stuff, that like are like, racist, whatever, yeah. I'm like, look, yeah, the teachers weren't racist. I have a lot of good coaches, good teammates, good friends. Today is the 2nd of October. Sean Ray, happy birthday. That's one of my greatest friends in this life. He's the one that brought me to Shelbourne, and his dad, Joe, rest in peace. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have won the trophies that I won. And Joe used to bring me and Sean AUL every day. Spend an hour on that before the new lanes were on the M50. It was like 2 lanes. I think it was like 2 lanes or something like that. We stuck there for an hour, up and down all the time. So I liked how you touched on that, and you're very appreciative of your coaches and stuff.
Bro,
like that.
Peter used to knock on my door.
Yeah.
Like, I've done them a madness in school. Peter's knocking. I'm texting Peter from webmail because I don't have my phone. It's confiscated.
Yeah.
Peter's knocking on my door at 8 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday when I've told him I'm not coming. He goes, "Look, Sarah, like, we need it." Do you get me? And then in the car, Peter's like, any time that we're driving places and it's a school night, we're doing homework in the car, he's asking us questions in Irish, he's asking us geography questions, like, he's making sure that I'm getting everything that I need as well. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, so I'm never gonna come here, once again, my story is a privilege. Not everybody has these people in their lives, but even when I'm advocating for black people and for myself, right, it's not a general thing. There's people in this life that have loved on me regardless of my race, so I'll never put them aside just because I've now found racism. And I say that very intentionally. I've now found racism. Like, racism didn't find me. Did you get what I'm trying to say? So yeah, it's my life, I guess.
We've touched on America. Talk to me about that. What was your experience like over there, and where did you go to school?
Oakland University.
So talk to me, your first day there on like, what was that like? I'll explain to you briefly. Me, I remember, because like I said, I got my visa eventually, but I went over with Blair. Blair was over 2 weeks before me, so I had to do pre-season with the girls just to, you know, just to get fit, because obviously the lads were preparing to go off to North or South Carolina. I can't remember which one it was, but I remember just landing there, the bleeding heat, man.
Slapped you.
You don't realise how hot America is till you're there. You know what I mean?
Parts of it, yeah, definitely. In the
yeah, no, parts of it especially, yeah. But like, I was in Maryland, like, and I was like, what the? I was trying to be funny. I went in a onesie, landed there, and I was getting poked. I was, but yeah, talk to me about like your experience over there in America.
First day, good. Got picked up by these girls. Didn't know what to think. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, yeah, it was a bit odd. I was like, there's a lot of white people here. It's just like Ireland, but like, I just been told that there's black people in America, so I just thought I'd be seeing a bunch of black people in it. Cause that, if you know me, I've said it a bunch of times. Like, my relationship with black people has been a lot more choppy than it has been with white people in it. So then, when I got there, I'll talk about football because it wasn't even a race thing. Like, got there, it was very, very, very tough to fit in the sense that I just told you I was overweight when I got
yeah, because I look at some of your pictures, Nessa, when I was Googling.
I'm massive, bro.
Heavy.
I'm huge, bro.
Pudding jaws.
Bro.
Because compared to you now, you have a neck.
Crazy. Yeah.
In hell.
I was big, man. So yeah, but obviously, like, they'd been told that I'm this player from Ireland coming in, like, a couple girls are scared for their positions, all of this. So there's been politics start.
Yeah.
But I'm a character. So I'm gonna polarize you. You're gonna love me. You're gonna hate me, right? So a lot of people get along with me. obviously I have an Irish accent. They're making me say tree bleeding 30,000 times, 33 and a third,
Oh,
all of that.
what did you say?
All of that. So obviously I love being centre of attention, so I'm milking it. But the second football start is hard. Like pre-season is hard. It's the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life. I called Peter my first week there. I said, Peter, I don't know if I can do this. Like I'm trying to keep up, but I can't. And he told me, he was like, look, Nessa, go through it, do something, do it again. If you don't want to, you can always come home. I said, cool. So I did it. I kept trying. So the runs, I didn't pass my fitness test. I only passed one, which was basically a speed one. Obviously, I got that. But the ones that are like, so we had like 5 fitness tests. If you don't do them, you have to redo them. Then you're in breakfast club and waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning every morning for pre-season just to run. But my managers wanted to play me. So I'm still getting game time. So, you know, with the rotating system, I'm getting in the last 15 of the first half, first 15 of the second half, and a lot, like I'm getting in. So obviously the first season wasn't great, but we won our conference and I'm making a difference. Like nobody, it's almost like they've never seen anything like me before. Like I'm powerful and I'm quick. I'm like, you saw how big I was. Imagine that, but I'm fast. Do you get me? So I was still making an impact, right? Not what we expected initially, but it was still positive. And then the girls liked me as well. Some of the girls liked me. The girls that mattered liked me, basically. So then obviously now season's over. We won the conference, played Notre Dame in the NCAA tournament. We got knocked out, whatever. But now it's the end. It's the postseason, and now I've had a whole like 6 to 8 months to be fit. I'm fitter than I came in. So then we're doing postseason stuff, runs. I'm getting better, and touches are better. I'm the player that they envisioned me to be, right? And then we're playing postseason games. I'm finishing runs first. I'm me. Do you get me? I'm backing myself. Our first or second postseason game, I'm the only player who plays 90 minutes. Like everybody else got rotated out. It's my first 90 minutes. Scored 2 goals. I'm gassed, right? 5 days later, tear my ACL. Do you get me? That's my life, bro. Yeah. 5 days later, tear my ACL. 3 weeks later, lose my dad. Do you get me? So, yeah.
This is more for a question towards the end, but talking to you, Nesser, man.
You wouldn't know that, wouldn't you? That would you?
Like you admit, you know what? I remember one of the first comments. I remember, like I said, you can talk, and I know this podcast is gonna be very good. People are gonna like this, but I remember sitting, and one of the things that was labeled at me that like, you don't let people talk. And I remember we were having this conversation in your house. I don't know if you remember, and you were just speaking. I was listening to you, and you always say I think you said something like, you don't like pain stories or something like that.
I don't glorify my pain.
You don't. Thank you, merci, yeah. You said I don't glorify my pain, but I think I remember saying this to you, and I'll say it to you again. I think it's important for someone like, because people look at you, HeyItsMeNesser, constantly smiling like you're a fire, bro. Like you, because I know you. I remember one time we were going to this recording vision lab and we were just talking about something deep. But then when we met all the lads, you can switch on and it's mad how you do that. Do you know what I mean? Are you masking? Do you mask a lot?
I'm not sure.
Because this is mad.
I'm not sure.
And you're able to be like this. You're able to like do your, I know you love your job. You're up and down water for visiting your ma, your dog. Doing the show last night. Yup, Bella, yeah. I did not know. So between the disappointment of not getting called up to the Irish team because of your passport situation, going to America, doing well, you're back to yourself, tear ACL, that does. How do you, it's mad.
It's God, it's not me.
And I kid you not, guys, people watching at home, yeah, I'm a lot of these things, even with, I have it on my notes here and I'll show her, it's like I was risking asking that question, but I wanted the vulnerability to come out, you know what I mean? And I might get some stick. Don't go to the better way to approach it, whatever it is, I'll take it on board.
You have my consent to approach it the way that you approach it, so tell him to shut up, man.
So yeah,
it's not me, it's God. Yeah. Like, I don't understand.
I said this on the last episode, I goes, because Derek asked, he's like, about like religion and stuff, and he doesn't, like, I think he said he doesn't really believe in God, whatever, and I hear what he's saying. I remember Devereaux told me around and said he doesn't believe in God either, but I said, there's too many things that were sent to break me in my life. Me too, tearing my ACL, losing the one thing I actually fucking give a fuck about my kids, my family, my missus. and I didn't know what to do, you know what I mean? Like, my head was gone, and obviously come back, I've said this before, Sacred Heart, coaching them boys, my brother's team from 15 to 18, is kind of what saved me, you know what I mean? Other than that, I was lost, you know what I mean? Like, but, nah man, it is God, it is God.
I'm not a nice person, like, I'm not a nice person, I'm not a happy-go-lucky person, I'm not a positive person, like, I was a terrorist when I was younger. It's my family, tearing everything. I was angry for years. That's why I told you about my dad. Like, we're butting heads the whole time. I didn't see the positive things that he did for me until after, because that's how I was seeing life. So when you see me being positive, you see me joyful, it's not me. Like, it's God. Like, I don't have an explanation.
Right, tear your ACL. What's the gig after that then?
Tear my ACL, and then 3 weeks later is that story about my dad. So then I had to go back to Ireland for a week. So it was the choice was to go to Nigeria or go to Ireland. But whatever way, I don't really pay attention. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of disassociated from the whole thing. I just went to Ireland for the week with my sister, my brother, and my mum.
Take your time, this.
Yeah, Dongo, you owe me loads for this, bro. Yeah, my brother and my mum. Don't worry, I have enough. My brother and my mum went to Nigeria to bury my dad. And yeah, big ups to Josh, man. He's my best friend at the time, my first boyfriend. He's still my friend right now, but yeah, I couldn't have done that. So then I go back to America after a week, and then it's a lot of masking, a lot of emotional, just putting it away. Got to walk it off, football mentality, and then it's just a lot of months of being on my ones. So everybody came home. Everybody come home at summer. I had to stay there. Big up Jimmy, my best friend from America. His family took me in. I did my surgery. I waited a couple months, did my surgery, and they housed me for the first month. And I was in the college dorms all summer, literally just running, swimming, just getting back into it. And then that was it.
I don't want to keep crying. Because there's
keep...
one more heavy one I want to touch on, but I think I'll leave that. That's the last heavy one. Look, I won't get into. Obviously, you were on a show on BT Sport.
Yeah.
I'll let you explain that a little bit, but let me get into what I want to ask you first. And this one get heavy. So it's ACL injury. There's more. So we kind of touched on it in the gaff there with Amy the other day when you're in the house.
Yeah.
When we were practicing what we're gonna do for the show. Touch on us with.
Sorry.
I know. I do all you. Listen. I don't think because I'm supposed to be going to town as well, get slacks and off for the job. I'll probably get your food or something. Go to town and get some food or something.
I want my neck to grow again.
Oh, stop.
Let me take it away before you ask, because I know what you're gonna say. I'm on a show, so I moved back to Ireland. Things aren't going great. Things are alright. No, they're not on top of the world, but they're alright. And I was like, look, a lot of these things have happened. They've happened. I'm ready to be a professional footballer. Like, I'm back from America, playing for Wexford, thick neck, still a bit overweight, still trying to work it out. So I never really adapted to the Irish way of football, where I'm training 6 days a week, training 5 days a week with a game and an active rest, where in Ireland I'm training 2 days a week with maybe a game on the weekend. So I just didn't like that. I want to be professional, that's all I want to do. I just want to play football, that's it. I don't care about anything else. So then obviously I come back, luckily that year, go to Champions League, amazing experience, but I do wish that I went to Afro Nation instead.
Lit. Unreal.
Played 10 minutes in Lithuania, bro. I could have done that after Shikaman Yash on a beach, but so then just doing that, it's just not working in Ireland. Back to the politics thing. Maybe it was race. I don't know. I didn't get on with the manager. He didn't get on with me. I thought I could have been playing a lot more than other people. I tried my best. It didn't work. We moved. So then I was like, I'm signing an agent. I do not care. I'm leaving. Right? Sign an agent. First week of 2021, get COVID. I'm like, ratted. Cool. COVID. All right. I'm sick. Like, I'm good for 2 weeks. I missed the first week of preseason, but then I'm in the next week. Like, even while I have COVID, I'm running. Because I was like, I'm leaving. Like, there's no scenario in my mind at this stage where I'm not pro by July. There's no scenario. And I'm pro a shit league, but I'm pro. Like, I'm starting to say I'm gone. Do you get me? So regardless of whether I have COVID now or not, I'm leaving Ireland, bro. Like, I'm going pro, right? Go back to Wexford. It's not really working. I don't care. Like, I'm doing my best here. I'm going pro. So you get me? Like, Mike Todd, crazy fate, whatever.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at this stage, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever's happening, whether I'm not playing or not, I'm doing my best. If it doesn't work here, I'm going to do some trials in England. I'm busting my ass. My plan was to go to America for the summer, go back and train there for a couple of months because I wasn't working here anyway. I'm done my master's, at this stage. Then I'm just not getting better after COVID, right? Lungs are mashed up, but I have I have sports-induced asthma, so I'm like, okay, maybe the COVID. I understand health, like, do you get me? I understand what a virus can do to your body. So then I'm getting a bit better. Then out of nowhere, my hands are swelling, my legs are swelling, my limbs are swelling every now and then when I play football. It's tingling. I'm like, spidey senses, I don't know what the fuck is going on. So then it's just not going away, right? My doctors don't know what it is. They're telling me long-term COVID, all of this. I'm like, that's calm, but I'm going pro. Do you get me? Like, I don't care about all of these things. I'm going to train, I'm doing my best, but like, my legs are heavy, bro. Like it's not, the socks aren't fitting over my legs. I bought I splashed. I bought 2 pair of boots. I said, look, I'm no longer wearing my hard grounds on soft grounds. Like, I have hard grounds and I have soft grounds. I'm paying for these things. I'm investing in myself. I'm buying the best Under Armour gloves, whatever I need. I'm getting it because I'm going pro, right? Guys, I didn't go pro. So then I'm getting sicker, whatever. My agent's like, look, you don't have enough footage. You don't have enough. Your track record in the last couple of years isn't great because of injury, breaks, whatever. I said, cool. She said, look, there's a show called Ultimate Goal. Like, it's helped a couple of the girls. Like they weren't able to, like, get out, but now they played on TV and they played in front of scouts. Like, so essentially it's like, I don't know if people know, like, Wayne Rooney's next top, whatever.
No, it wouldn't be right on the street. It was like football's next star.
Yeah, something like that.
My teammate of mine, Gavin Colton, was on that.
Yeah, so
they went to Inter Milan to train there, to get a contract.
So
I know
essentially there's like 28 girls. First week, cut down, you train with, like, Joe Cole came to ours, like, Ro Ferdinand came the first time, Jesse Yumberg or whatever his name. Freddie, yeah, sorry you. Anyway, so then first day, and even now this is from watching it. First day, I'm like, yo, I'm alright. Do you get me? Like, the second I hit England, my throat, I can't breathe. So, like, literally, like, they have me on ginger, lemon, whatever. I went shopping, I'm not sleeping, whatever. But I said, I don't care. I'm going pro, bro. Do you get me? First day, touches, I'm vocal. Like, do you get me? I'm letting them know that I'm there. I'm killing it, right? Everybody's gassing me, and even on the recording, all the coaches. There's me and Steph. Steph now plays for LACE Angels in the US off the back of that with Eni Aluko, right? But it's just me and Steph and maybe a couple, but me and Steph, like, everybody's like me and Steph are like, we're like roomies at this time, we're buds, like, we're the best people here, like, in my head, right? Second day, it's getting a bit worse. Like, my hand's swelling a bit more than it is, like, so I'm not breathing. I'm trying to run, but I can't, but I'm still putting in work. Third day is kind of like, everybody's getting sick of my excuses because they're like, why did you come here if you're not fit? I'm like, bro, I am fit. I don't know what's going on. Fourth day, I clock out. I don't sleep. They're like, look, this is unethical for us to keep going with you. Like, something's wrong, so just sit out. I slept for the whole day. I don't know what they did training wise until I watched the videos. So, and then it wasn't until like the third day, they were like, or third or fourth day, and then one of the coaches, Rachel Brown, I think, said, the first day Nesser was a no-brainer. Now she might as well be a cone. But obviously they don't know what's going on at this stage. I don't know what's going on at this stage. But to hear that was hurtful because for me, it's just, this is my life, bro. Like, with football, no one has ever told me, Nesser, you're not good enough. It's always passport, it's illness, fitness. I just want to be told you're shit at this point. I promise you. Because if I'm shit, I know what to do, Dongo.
Yeah.
I know where to go, but telling me that I have all these, I can't fix that. Do you get me? So it's like, I don't want to be sick. I don't care about all these things. I want to play. I want to go pro. Like, do you get me? So then I'm like, look, whatever is not happening. I obviously didn't make it to the next round. They calling, obviously crying on camera. It's the worst thing ever. So then I get home.
This is not what you're doing today. This is matanga.
I don't know what that is.
I'll explain to you.
You off the Congos. But so yeah, I get back to Ireland. I'm heartbroken. I buy an iPad in the flipping airport because I said that. Look, this one I need retail therapy, bro. I get home now. My eyelids are swollen. Hands are swollen. It's not coming down. My mom's trying to chat to me. I'm like, look, I'm not in the mood. I sit in darkness for 3 days, and then I'm like, yo, I need to take Bella out. Tried to take Bella for a walk. I got lightheaded, nearly passed out on the road. Like my house, from where my house is in the park, is like about 100 meters less. I get to the top. I sit there for about 20 minutes. I walk back. Didn't tell my mum till the station. Just know that happened. But then she woke up one day. She's like, "Look, like you can't. This is not okay." To me, I just care about football. But she can see that I'm not okay. I'm not well. I'm not physically well. And she's like, "Look, calls an ambulance. Whatever. Ambulance takes me, and I'm in the hospital for like a week." Me at this stage, I still care that I didn't go pro, like, you know what I mean? Then they tell me, they're like, yeah, you have this thing called lupus. I know enough about medicine to do research and stuff, and then they're just like, essentially it's an autoimmune disease where my body attacks its own healthy cells. So it sees my healthy cells as foreign agents. But that was in my kidney. So your kidney's job is to filter water, keep protein in your body, but it was doing the opposite. That's why there's fluid around my lungs. There's fluid in my lungs. There's fluid around my heart. There's fluid in my hands. Fluid in my eyelids. Fluid in my legs. I went into the hospital 87 kg. I came out. Was it 87? 87 kg or 87 kg. I came out at like 64.
Jeez.
So there was it was all fluid in my body, right? So yeah, and then that's kind of what happened. I obviously gave up football, but it was more important that I was healthy at that stage. And at this stage, I didn't really know what the future looked like. I don't know what lupus is. It's not a very common disease. In Ireland, it's a disease that is predominantly in the Black, Hispanic, African American society. So the doctors that were treating me are treating me off case studies, not off actual things that they've learned. But to this day, once again, it's God, because I haven't had, since the day that I left the hospital, I've been the healthiest that I've ever been, right? I haven't really had mad flare-ups. People lose their hair with lupus. People wake up with aches and pains all the time. But I take 1 million medications a day, but I'm good. That was tough emotionally more than it was physically, because the fear of the football thing was just playing on my mind a lot. It just broke me. It broke me, right? I didn't really know what life looks like without that, because I've gone from I'm going pro any means necessary to I can't even walk for a couple of minutes without my legs swelling up. I couldn't go to parties. Like there was a phase where I was just going out, and I remember Akbar, big up him, big Egypt. He texted me. He goes, "You're not yourself." I was like, "What?" He was like, "You look like you're having fun, but you're not yourself." I'm like, that's crazy, because I left that party early to go cry. Like, it looks like I was having a great time in front of everybody, but I couldn't stay at that party because my knees are flaring up. I couldn't wear heels. My knees are flaring up. My hands. I had to leave that party, and I was broken. Like I couldn't even have fun. I couldn't even walk around. I couldn't do whatever. I was just done. Yeah.
So you kind of touched on that a little bit, yeah. So where are we at now with it? How are you now with it? I'm
good. You wouldn't even know that I was an illness, like, so.
Okay.
Like I said, thank God in that.
Appreciate that, and long may you continue that. Your health is good, and
yes, sir.
You live a long, beautiful, and prosperous life. And I appreciate you sharing. That's all the deep ones done with now.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Big, massive hug after this. I have a couple of more questions, a couple of more little segments, and then we're done. So this is the Dongo Reacts section of the pod. No, you've seen some of them. Okay. So I asked David this last week, but I'm gonna ask you because you've been in these situations before.
Yeah.
So I wanna see like your kind of thought process on this. Couple of gal might come for you, depending on your answer, but so here we go, yeah?
Mm-hmm. As long as they just don't come to me as a woman, I don't mind.
Yeah, no, you'll be alright. As a man with a girlfriend, you do not need a female best friend. So you, obviously me and you have a good relationship, I'm in a relationship.
Big up, Amy.
Big up, Amy. Karen, what's your reaction to that? Because you've been in a few
Sticky ones.
Yeah. So what's the gig? What you think of that?
That's not a whole sentence. So as a man in a relationship, you don't need a best friend. You don't need a best friend that's not respectful and doesn't respect your relationship. So I think a lot of times girls put the onus on the person that's outside of the relationship. It's your man that should respect you, because I've been in a relationship where my relationship, I guess,
That's why you're shouting.
I've been in a relationship where he didn't respect me. I know some of the girls, I'm not going to them. They don't have any, like, it's not me and them, it's me and him. Do you get me? So, but I've also been on the side where I haven't respected a girl's relationship because this is my best friend or this is my close friend. So I think that, like I said, that sentence is incomplete. Like, men should have female friends, because a lot of the times relax you. Anyway, a lot of the times I'm saving, like, I'm the one telling him to calm down. Like, if it's not me, like, the boys are chatting shit. Do you get me? But it's like, if I'm not respecting their relationship and your man is not also respecting the relationship, that you have to dead it. So I've had to let a couple of friendships go because it's not going to work. The nature of mine and his friendship is not respectful to his current relationship. So it's had to kind of be deaded in that sense. So I don't know if that's the answer that people want or don't want, or it's not. I'm not a polarizing person, bro. Like, for me, I've had, like, it's respect. The male and female is not the be all and end all of anything. Like, do you get me? If you're not respecting your gal, if you're not respecting your man's, like, that's the problem.
For me, I look at it, especially with you, like I said, I learn a lot off you, and you make me a better, like, man to my gal. Do you get me? And I said that, I was like, I like talking to women, because with lads, it's just always banter. It's like, you can't come to lads with shit. Like I said, I don't know if you met Blair, but Blair just laughs at me. You know what I mean? Blair laughed at me after surgery, bro. Like, my teammates he came in, he was laughing at me.
Blair.
Like, I'm about to lose my career, my life, and he's in there laughing at me.
What's his sister's name?
You know what I mean? Brenda, Blair,
I hate you.
Yeah, and he's laughing, you know what I mean? Like, his dad just told him he doesn't like it when he's laughing. You know what I mean? So, now for me, I just think, I don't know, maybe I'm probably being a bit harsh here, and here comes the day if I speak, but insecurities for me when girl have a problem, you know what I mean? Especially if the relationship is a platonic one, it is fresh, it's like, nothing that, like, I don't know if I can say this, but you've been on holidays with a lad where you're taking pictures, man think you're in a relationship, but it's not. It's like,
okay, but me...
Did you get me? Did you get me? Like,
yeah, but me and him were staring apart. We didn't do anything, but...
No, but I know, but he's our friends.
But at the same time, I was only on the holiday because he wasn't with...
No, I hear that. No, here's my
That's not happening in a
Here's my home with this, but where you could share all that memories, but imagine now, because he has a girlfriend now, you have to let go of that, because that girl isn't... Like, what's the
I've like I told you, I have to.
That's heavy.
It's like, bro, at the end of the day, right? Like, you're not marrying me, bro. If this is the girl that you love, it's on you. If this is the girl that you love, you need to sacrifice for the relationship if this is what you want.
Let me ask you this question. Like, I break my heart on camera. You got a boyfriend now, yeah?
Yeah.
He's like,
Inshallah, we made it.
You got a boyfriend now, yeah? He never says, oh, I don't like you and don't go to relationship. You are too close. You'd let me go. No,
because our relationship is not, like, inappropriate. But I would, if it became a problem, I'm gonna tell you to keep your distance. And if you don't respect my relationship with him, then what's the point?
No, I would though. I don't.
It doesn't work. This example doesn't work because you're in a relationship and we're not. Like, I don't see you like that. Do you get me? So it's like, it's different if we're like close. It's like if I've slept with a male friend and my man feels a way about him. Yeah, like, he has a reason to feel a way about him, because realistically, if I break up with you, I'm going back there. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's the closest one sometimes. Like, I hear it because I've been in that scenario, but I think sometimes men see women's insecurities as only insecurities. It's insecurity because someone has put them through it.
I hear it. Okay.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like,
I hear it. Right, last question for you, and then I'll show you my other segment as well. You'll probably like this one. Obviously, being with like David last week and yourself, he's a podcast, so this little segment is very good for you guys. Just right, I have here advice for young women, but it's just like for you, everything that you've been through in your life, and you've, like, for me, looking at you anyways, you come out to the store, you're still able to do like Nesser Pod, host shows, you're getting paid for shows, Def Jam, all this stuff, yeah. So what advice, like, going through hardships, what advice do you have for people that are going through stuff like that, like how to come out on the other side and still be able to live this beautiful life that God has given us?
I don't even know if I'm out on the other side, but I'm not gonna...
No, I'm just saying, like, but to keep like being positive and stuff. Trying anyways.
It's not me, it's God. It's not a cliche, it's not me, bro. Like, I break down every second day. You saw me. Like, I'm chatting to Dongo. I just, not even, like, Dongo's not even saying, we're not even saying anything deep. There's a lot that goes on in here. Find whatever your purpose is, man. Like, it happened, feel it. I'm a big feeler now. Be surprised if you knew me about 12 years ago. I'm a big feeler. I feel my emotions. I feel them. Like, whatever it is, you're like, it is what it is. Do you get me? Like, it happened. Like, I'm very, like, I will, if I need to be sad in this moment, like, I'm gonna be sad and then it's gonna pass. But life goes quickly. Like, this soon will pass. Like, the good and the bad, right? The bad will pass, but the good will also pass. So I'm committed to never having a whole 24 hours that are bad. There needs to be at least a minute and an hour, something in that. There's joy in every day, right? I think my family's relationship has been better since my dad is dead, right? And I don't mean that in a sense that, like, we're happy over him or something. It's because that pain that we all connected with made us, we only have each other. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm Bella, big up Bella. You need to find your purpose and find your people in God, because I don't think that anything I do is possible on my own. There's a lot of things I want to do just in my own will. I can't do, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that just happen, like this content thing. Like, I struggle with it because I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I'm succeeding. I don't know.
Give it over there.
I don't know, man. Do you get me? Like, it's just, I don't know. It's not me. Just, it's God, man.
No one tells it. I'll just elaborate on that point. Even me, like I said, lost football, and this just fell on my lap kind of thing. You know what I mean? And this is what keeps me going. Meeting people like yourself, David, Dara, the boys were here earlier on, Tommy and Snow, doing that show last night in front of people, and it is God. Like I said before, that's why I'll always have faith in God, and He's gonna take me places where, you know, and in rooms that my environment. We talked about council estate. We talked about all our hardships. My environment is not supposed to be there. It's God. Do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah. Thank you for that. And here's my last thing. Last question. So it's your turn now to ask me a question. So this call this one question only. You can ask me whatever you want, and I have to answer. So take your time, wipe them tears, and ask me a question, and then we finish up there. Hurry up now, because them wings that they are getting right up my nose. I'm starving. I had a pack of Doritos this morning for breakfast.
One question to ask you, bro.
Anything.
I feel like I've asked you one question I need to know. What's your biggest fear?
David asked that last week.
Did he? Crazy.
You podcast was man.
What did you say?
Failure.
That's not even a good answer.
How's it not good? How are you trying to tell me about my answer?
What are you scared of failing in?
Like, in my goals I'm trying to achieve. I'm trying to do this for my children. Leaving something for them. Because like I said to David, I don't believe you actually asked me that. Cheeky you.
What?
How are you trying to tell me my answer is a bad answer?
Come on, beat me now.
What's wrong with you, man?
What do you mean failure? Everybody's scared of
failure.
failing.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to, like I said, if I was to go tomorrow, kids have nothing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, look, we touched on schemes and stuff, but bro, Hab's paying my gaff.
Yeah.
I don't want Vinaya doing that or Thiago doing that. You know what I mean? I want to be like, you know, the way, like, for example.
Okay. Forget all that. What's one thing that you wish that? What's one question that you want to ask your dad honestly?
Does he love me? I don't know. Blair's gonna watch. He's gonna laugh. Nathan, no, being real. Nathan's probably gonna look at me like, what? Sophie will understand. Sean probably understand. Jess probably like, shut up, you N. Yeah, I don't, because I've never heard him say like, yeah, I'm proud of you, right? Even like, I don't even think he knows I hosted that show last night. So I would want to know, like, does he, you know, because I don't, no, I'm crying. I don't dislike my dad. I like my dad, but I'd like to say you're supposed to love your dad. As a man, your dad's supposed to be your hero. Like, the relationship I have with, like, obviously I know my daughter loves me, like, especially like lately when she's in trouble and she's down when I'm giving out to her. But when I open the door when I come in from work and the way Thiago runs to me, I was like, this is the forever I want to have this relationship. There's none of this African parent of tough love. Yeah, like you're being bold because he's a little ball, he's opening presses, spilling everything. But I will be tough on you because I want you to be better. But I will have a relationship. I'll tell you if you do something, I'm proud of you. I'll tell you that you'll know I love you. You know what I mean? Like, so the one question I was to ask my dad, first to ask him was like, broski, what's the gig? Do you love me? Like, what's going on? You know? So yeah, that's that.
Yeah, I used to feel like that as well. I don't feel like my dad loved me. I just, outside of my...
It's mad because they do normally love the girls though. Like in the gaff we talk to Brianna.
Yeah, but I'm my dad, like, do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'm just a female version of my dad. Like my brother was the first son, my sister's a little baby. I'm just a little prick that's going against everything he's saying. Like, I'm looking him in the eye, like, do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, before we start crying here again. Nesser,
First of all, don't say it like that as if you didn't flip in start
No,
it,
sorry,
like.
I know. I'm sorry. But look, you've been an amazing guest. I really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you so much for being so vulnerable and opening up. You're the fourth, and I it's mad how I'm going to say this, but I know what I'm saying in my head. I wanted that, you know what I mean? I wanted that because someone has been through, you know, what you were going through in the sense of like regrets of like, you know, dad passing or mother passing and they never fixed it. So yeah, man, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Follow Nesser Pod, and follow this girl because she's on an absolute amazing journey for me. I know she's not going to big herself up, but I think she's amazing, and I'm so happy that I've met her in this game. Hey, I'm looking over here. I don't know what I was looking over here for. Share, subscribe. Someone told me that you don't do that enough. Please subscribe to me. I'm on this mad journey myself as well. I'm trying to do something for the community, my area, the kids, yada yada, brooker. We're out. Thank you. Yup. Fucking hell.
I prefer really not to
Thanks.
speak.
Laugh at my pain, yeah?
If I speak, I am in big trouble.
The player was in there.
In big trouble, and I don't want to be in big trouble.
Turn me up, kid Spiral.